Alright, so it's Monday. Monday, I think it's the 19th. Yeah, Monday the 19th. So last weekend was oh so fun. My last update was me sitting all day at repair shops trying to get an ABS light fixed on a trailer. Went to one place, or no, let me jump back to the beginning.
There's an object on road ahead.
Picked this trailer up, got a couple miles down the road, ABS light came on. I was like, alright, I'll stop and do the normal tricks, because sometimes it's just a wire didn't connect right, or a sensor didn't like how it started up. Stop, pull the plug out, it comes off, get going. Did everything I could think of. I kind of drove some more until I get to a spot where I knew I could stop. So I got to this Love's and sat there for 4 hours till they could get looked at me. I had me come into a bay, they fiddle with it, they hook up to their system, this and that. Apparently something wasn't plugged in all the way. They fiddle with some more stuff. Drive around the parking lot, get above 5 miles an hour, come back. Do all that. Spent probably an hour or so trying to work on it after waiting 4 hours. Still couldn't fix it. Gave me a receipt saying, hey, looks like you're going to have to go to a designated repair shop. We aren't able to do anything. No, they never took a wheel off. They just fiddled with wiring. So, I was like, alright, I got the paper, called my dispatch. They're like, well, you got to be such and such certain time. You still got to do a reset in the middle of the week. You've got the paperwork says that you were getting worked on it and you're empty. So, go ahead, head towards home. When you come back, hit the first repair shop. You've got a receipt saying showing that you were trying to get it fixed. They couldn't fix it. You're empty technically. So there's that. Good Lord, you jackass! Are you in that big of a fucking hurry? Get home. Do my reset. 8 o'clock when I was going to be getting home at like 11 in the morning. Got home at 8 at night. Not too happy. Thursday morning, I head out at 9 a.m. I didn't really technically get where I was going. I didn't have to leave to get where I was going, because I was just going up and parking out on site for a load the next morning. I could have left at like what? Could have left at like 1 p.m. I left the house at 9. Went and picked up my trailer where I park it. Called into dispatch like, hey, look, this is what's going on. This happened to me Tuesday. So that I can at least be proactive about this. Where do you suggest I go? I need to go to Ohio. Or like, where can you call ahead so they're expecting me, so when I get there, they kind of know that what I'm gonna do. Talk to dispatch. They're like, let us call and check some spots. Sat there maybe 30 minutes. Get a message back, hey, alright, you're gonna go to that trailer shop that fixed your trailer when you had the air tank issue. He's a weasel there in Bowling Green. Like, alright, cool. I get there. It's like an hour drive from where I was. Get to Bowling Green. I ended up sitting there for like 2 hours because they had a trailer get tires changed, swapped, replaced, whatever. So I had to wait for a little while. And then like, alright, pull over here, back up next to the shop. We'll fiddle with it, see what we can do. I was there for like an hour and a half after that. Dude comes up and says, well, I can't find any problems, this and that. Tells me this, tells me that. Like, hey, let me hook up to the truck and see if the truck will tell me anything. He hooks up to the truck. Says something about it's the truck's fault. You gotta go to a dealership, get them to do something. And before that, he's like, it looks like you might need a complete ABS brake for the trailer, but I gotta go check with these people because like I don't know. I'm not qualified to give final decisions. I've got to check with somebody above me. All for sure, he tells me it's the truck's fault. Take it down to the rider shop down the road. Sat there for 3 hours because they didn't have any emergency stopping, open, available techs. To get in line, and then when I finally went in there, I was like, look, can someone just come look at the truck? Because like when I had to go in and actually like, hey, I've been here for 3 hours, what's going on? Dude's like, you know what, I can come out and look at it real fast. I was about to go to break. I'm gonna come out here, look, at least see what's going on, that way you think we actually know if you need to sit here waiting longer. He takes a computer, blah, blah, blah. He's like, your truck's fine. Your truck's following a code because the trailer's telling it something's wrong. It's your trailer. Blah, blah, blah. He then tries to look up a trailer ABS guide for trailers. For the blink pattern. For the ABS light on the side of the trailer. And I was like, well, when I did that, it flashed 4. I got 4 3 times. Every time I did it, because I did it multiple times. He's like, alright, well, let me look that up. Passenger front axle ABS sensor abnormality, blah, blah, blah. Like, it needs to be unplugged and plugged back in or replaced. Well, the Loves, I stopped down on Tuesday, said that they went through, they checked all the plugs, and says that everything's continuity is reading right. Like, they took a multimeter and plugged it into the plug under the trailer instead of taking wheels off, I'm guessing. And I was like, alright, well. And he's like, and we can't do anything with your trailer because it's not a rider trailer, it's your company trailer, blah, blah, blah. That part right there is your repair shop. It has all to do with like fucking payment. Anyhow, so at that point, I was about had it. I about had it. You know, I'm like, you know what? Okay, let me call dispatch, see what they want me to do. At this point, it's just night dispatch, and they're like, well, they could fix it. Rider's not gonna touch it. Best thing you can do is try to find another truck stop or another repair shop. And I'm like, well, there is that shop there in Horse Cave. He's like, all right, well that's en route, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, go to Horse Cave. When you get there, give me a call. Let me know what's going on. I'll push payment through because the company's got a contract with the rider's shop. I'm like, okay, let's do that. So That's a 30-minute drive up 65, Bowling Green. 35, 40 minutes, whatever. I roll in, I get there, I park outside the shop, and I step in, I'm like, alright, where's everybody at? There's nobody there. Waited about 5 minutes. Dude comes up, and I'm like, is there any chance you can check an ABS trailer ABS light to see about get fixed, or can you fix it? Can you kind of see about getting an ABS light fixed on a trailer? And he's like, you can, but I have no techs. The tech that was working today got fired at about noon. I was like, oh, joy. All right, I'm like, then what? He's like, I'll have another tech coming in at like 7 a.m. and there's 2 people ahead of you already waiting in line for services tomorrow. I'm like, all right, you know what? Put me in line. He's like, all right, take this information, company name, blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, you're in line. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go park. I leave, I go park, I call the company. I'm like, hey, look, I ain't got no techs. I'm in line for the morning. Should be able to get up and deal with this. He's like, well, did you ask him about, the night guy said something about calling a service tech. He's like, but you've been dealing with this all day, so your clock's about out. I'm like, well, I technically could still get where I'm going. It's just going to be 3 a.m. And he's like, yeah, I'm betting you're tired of dealing with all this. And I'm like, I'm kind of, like, I'd like to not drive another 5 hours with a messed up trailer without at least trying to get it fixed. Spoiler, I ended up driving there and to Memphis. I had paperwork showing that I was trying to get it fixed. I didn't have any issues. Disclaimer, I wouldn't do this. I would not suggest doing this, but it was a light load. Didn't have any issues. So I ended up spending the night there. Get up the next morning. They open at 7. I'm alright, there's going to be about 2 guys ahead of me. Let me give it an hour or 2. Which I'm glad I did. Only an hour or 2. I was like, hey, look, I'm TLD. I got the dude last night said I was third line this morning, trying to get a trailer with ABS light looked at. Just curious about what the time situation's looking like. He's like, they told you what last night? And I'm like, they told me I was a third person in line for getting work done today this morning. He's like, no, you were not third in line. You are like 8th. And I can't guarantee I'm going to get to you today. Because I've been in the bay next door working on this truck since we started. And I'm like, damn it. He's like, yeah, night shift's bad about not checking. I'm guessing people had appointments before. Like, pre-planned appointments had been scheduled for the morning. They weren't the walk-ins. I'm guessing it's kind of what ended up happening there. And he's like, I'm the only tech here today, and if I can't get to you today, it's going to be Monday before there's another tech here, so, or mechanic. Like, I guess there'll be guys there to change tires, but there's not going to be another mechanic. I'm like, oh, joy, let me go make some phone calls. He's like, yeah, you might want to do that. And I'm like, just to make sure, you guys care if any outside repair shops come in then? He's like, as long as it's not TA and Michelin, or no, Southern Towing or something like that. Yeah, as long as it's not a competing, like, truck stop mechanic shop. I'm like, okay. And he's like, hey, here's the local guy that we call sometimes, or that we suggest people call. And I'm like, oh, this guy's got an ambulance rig set up as a work truck. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I saw this guy here last night opening a dude's door that he locked his keys. He's like, all right, let's go give him a call. Go back out to the truck, call dispatch. Luckily, I talked to the same guy that I talked to the day before in the morning. in maintenance, so I didn't have to relay all this crap. I could just be like, hey, this is what's going on. They said they're not going to be able to get to me today. If I'm lucky, by the time they're closing tonight, because of how many people they have in line. Because the guy last night told me some bullshit, and he's like, all right, well, and I was like, they told me that any outside companies could come in and work on the lot, as long as it's not like pilot or TA or whatever. He's like, all right. And I did suggest, like, hey, they gave me this card for this local guy. This is his number. Is he in the system, or can you want to give him a call, or do you know anybody else? And he's like, well, if they suggest them, we can try them. See if they're in the system, blah, blah, blah. They tried to get a hold of him, long story short. That number wasn't working, and actually was saying the number was disconnected, I believe. Spend another hour waiting on things, and that's when I call in the maintenance. Was like, hey, look, I might have found another number for this dude, but they were like, hey, we can't get a hold of him. See if you can find another number from the guys inside. We're gonna give it a couple minutes before we try this number again, because it's blah blah blah. Long story short, we never got a hold of the guy. I got a call from maintenance that says, hey, look, your dispatcher's gonna call you. We're gonna work something else out with this. Wait for their call. So I get off the phone with them. Dispatch calls, and she's like, "All right, look, this is causing a lot of chaos right now. It's nothing that's going to prevent the trailer from driving. It's just like if you get pulled over, the company's going to get a ticket. You're probably going to get a warning. Blah blah blah. Whatever it is. You've got paperwork that says you tried to get it fixed, but you were under load. You got to get up there. You got to get this picked up. You got to get back." So I leave at like 11 noon. We'll call it noon. Leave horse camp at noon. Make it up to Ottoville. I actually have some footage rolling up in there. I might throw it in there somewhere. Get there at like 7 o'clock. It's a 5-hour drive. I had to go through Cincinnati during rush hour and Louisville. So add an hour and a half. I was in or out of there like 45 minutes. Left there. I was like, alright, which way am I going? Am I going to go south through Cincinnati and try to get someplace south of Lexington that I can stop? Because I still had to get down to Memphis and get home Saturday. Because I was supposed to have been there Thursday night to deliver, or pick up Friday morning, deliver Friday afternoon, be home Saturday. I was in Horse Cave Friday morning. I was in Horse Cave Friday morning. Had to drive up there, and instead of going south and dealing with those 2 extra towns, I was going to have to, because I was going to have to shut down at like midnight and then get back up and go through all that mess to get to the Memphis. Well, if I went south, I was going to run into Cincinnati, Louisville, Nashville. I go east, I'm just going to hit Cincinnati and nothing else. So I was like, all right, let's go east. I made it to Effingham, which is just at 4.5 hours from where I had to go in West Memphis. Parked there for the night. Got there at like midnight, so of course creative parking. Got up the next morning and hold on. Made good time getting down there. Dropped my trailer, red tagged it, did all the stuff. Like, called me and it's like, hey, it's here. I've red tagged it. Get someone over here to look at this damn thing before somebody else picks it up and takes it. Because the warehouses and the companies for Hino that we work with, they're really, the yard guys are really bad about like ripping tags off trailers and moving them and just putting shit on them. Because that's what they're paid to do. They're paid to move trailers around and make sure they're loaded. Case in point, the next trailer I picked up had a blown tire. Like, there was nothing left on it but the bead. So I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because I left Effingham at like noon. Got to West Memphis by like 4 o'clock, 4:30, something like that. Did all my shit, got over to the warehouse. It was like 6 something. So I could have made it home by 10. It took 2.5 hours for somebody to go from the TA at the river 10 minutes over to the Hino plant, swap a tire, and then leave. 2.5 hours. Guess how much of that was waiting? And then I hauled ass because I sat there long enough. I could do a half split, get some on-duty time back because I had plenty of. The drive time wasn't the issue. It was my duty time. I got home Saturday morning at 1:30. It was not a fun night. It's not a fun day. It's not a fun week. Hoping to God that I get some breakdown pay. Hope to God I get some breakdown pay. It'd be so nice. Like, we get it. I don't always know what counts and what doesn't because I don't have a lot of breakdowns. Like, my company's usually really good. Like, I've not had too many tire issues, knock on wood, driving down the road. They've always been at facilities. So I kind of just called up and it was like an hour or two. And most of them I've gotten paid for. I like to clarify so that I'm not assuming, so I'm not overestimating what a check's going to be. Monday night. Doing some more autobills. Or no, technically I'm not doing autobills. I'm doing Springfield, which is it's a decent run, but it's good miles. I should be home Friday afternoon because I'll be picking up Thursday and delivery. Yeah, my second run I'll be picking up Thursday morning, delivering Thursday afternoon, and I will be parking there and heading home Friday morning. Oh, we got Buddhas this week too. Finally, I'm not injured and I'm not getting home on a Saturday, so again, knock on wood, I can go enjoy some RCs. Yeah, so that was my week. A hell of a week. Hopefully this wasn't too boring because I'm at 24 minutes in here lately. I've been trying to keep them under 30. So I might break this way down and just cut out a bunch of my mumbling.